In Python, data structures can be classified as either primitive or non-primitive. In Python, primitive data structures are basic data types that cannot be broken into simpler data types, whereas non-primitive data structures are more complex and can be broken down into smaller data types. There are many differences between primitive and non-primitive data structures. Primitive data structures have a fixed size and they are usually smaller in size than the non-primitive data structures. Non-primitive data structures can be larger in size and can grow or shrink dynamically. Primitive data structures are simpler. On the other hand, non-primitive data structures are more complex and can be composed of multiple primitive data types. And you will see that primitive data structures are used for simple operations, but non-primitive data structures are used for complex operations such as data manipulation, sorting or searching, and primitive data types are represented in memory as a simple value. But non-primitive data types are usually represented in memory as pointers to other memory locations. The main primitive data types in Python are integers, float, strings, and booleans. Integers are whole numbers without decimal points. Floats are numbers with the decimal points. And strings are the sequence of characters or symbols enclosed in quotation marks. And at the end, booleans are the values that represent true or false. When it comes to non-primitive data structures, they are derived from primitive data types by combining two or more primitive data structures. These data structures can be subdivided as linear and non-linear data structures. So, what is linear data structure? Linear data structures are those in which the elements are arranged in a sequential order with each element connected to its adjacent elements. These data structures are used to represent a sequence of data where the order of element is important. Linear data structures are further divided into static and dynamic data structures. Static data structures are list, tuples, and arrays, while the dynamic data structures are linked list, stacks, and queue. So we are going to talk about them in separate section in details. Non-linear data structures are those in which the elements are not arranged in a sequential order. These data structures are used to represent a hierarchical relationship between data elements where each element is connected to one or more other elements in a specific way. Sets, dictionaries, trees, and graphs are non-linear data structures. We can also subdivide these data structures into built-in data structures and user-defined data structures. Built-in data structures are the ones which comes with Python. We don't need to use any external library or create ourselves these data structures. They are built inside core Python. So from linear data structures, lists and tuple are built-in data structures, and from nonlinear data structure, sets and dictionaries are built-in data structures. Other data structures that we have over here are user-defined data structures. So this means that we need to use some external library or we can create them by ourselves to be able to use them. So as you can see, we have various types of data structures, and you might be wondering why we need so many different types of data structures. Now the answer is each of these data structure has its own unique properties which works very efficiently in different circumstances. For instance, graph data structures work perfectly for maps and stack data structures work perfectly when you have back and forward buttons in your application. due to its first in, last out nature. Let's look at the primitive data structure, which is the most basic data structure in Python. So I'm not going to go to the details of each data structure over here. I have just provided some examples, but in our upcoming sections, we will concentrate on them and we will see where we can use them.